Welcome to Noxium, where police power meets public accountability.
This episode is brought to you by the dyslexic Auditor. Be sure to check the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the recognition he deserves. In this episode, dyslexic Auditor is calmly filming a G4S van during a routine stop, entirely within his legal rights and on public land. However, the situation escalates quickly. The security guards clearly object to being filmed and contact the police, who arrive and immediately detain the auditor without properly assessing the scene or providing any lawful grounds. Despite dyslexic auditor asserting his rights, officers misrepresent the situation and proceed to arrest him. But this instance of poor policing did not go unchallenged. With the support of HNK,
we've had reports of something that's been going on today.
Yeah.
With you in the law enforcement agency. So at the moment you are detained.
I'm detained.
Yeah. Until we figure out.
Oh, mate, thank you so much. Yeah, you're going to put hands on me here?
I'm not going to cuff you.
No, you're putting hands on me.
I've got my hand on you.
Let's go to the person.
No, so you're not going to go down here. You're going to stay here for.
Am I?
Okay, yeah.
Wicked.
So you're going to stay here until we figure out what's going on. At the minute you're detained.
I'm detained.
So you're not under arrest.
Good.
Until
I know what I'm doing. This ain't my first rodeo, love.
Okay.
Can you just tell this gentleman
So you can't go over
that I'm allowed to film in public?
For me, okay?
Can you tell him I'm allowed? No, I'm not going to. You got your hands on me.
I've got my hand.
Get your hands off
We're not
me.
continue to be aggressive, then you will be cuffed. Okay?
Go on then, cuff me. Go on.
At the minute,
I haven't done anything.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm not saying.
I'm filming him in public.
Okay. I'm not saying.
I'm filming him in public, like this.
Stay here for.
My camera.
Calm down. Calm down.
The camera don't lie,
I'm
love.
not saying that you've done anything wrong.
Yeah, you are. You're detaining me. You're holding me in public.
the officer's approach here is nothing short of reckless. Within seconds of arriving, she detains the auditor based on vague hearsay, something reportedly happened earlier involving him. There is no specific allegation, no clearly defined offence, just a report and a hunch. That does not amount to reasonable suspicion, it is pure assumption. Worse still, she physically restrains him while openly admitting, "I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong." Let that sink in. She is detaining someone who, by her own admission, has not broken the law. That is not merely poor policing, it is unlawful detention. The auditor was doing exactly what he is legally entitled to do, filming in a public place. The officer did not properly assess the situation, did not ask meaningful questions, and did not carry out any form of investigation. Instead, she acted on impulse as though control were easier than accountability.
People think that I'm doing wrong, and you're holding me over something this little goon over here said.
Right, calm down, okay? You don't want to be calling people names in the street, okay?
Goon.
I heard what you said.
It's not illegal, love.
I didn't say
Get your hand off me.
No.
Yes.
You are being entertained until calm down till I figure out what's going on. Are you okay?
Ma, I walk around filming people. It's what I do. It's not weird. He can't just call you. He's called the police, and you come up to me and put your hands on me
You are detained.
and detain me.
Yeah. Calm down.
What time did you detain me?
I know.
Can you identify yourself?
Yeah, look, I'm in full uniform.
Are you recording? Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Why haven't you told me you're recording? You need to tell me at the first opportunity.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Should we get your things up so we can have a look at it?
This is always on. It's my body wrong camera.
Mate.
No, same as mine. Calm down for me.
When the auditor asks whether they are recording, something every officer should disclose at the earliest opportunity, the response is not a correction or an apology. Instead, the officer dismisses it, stating, "We don't need to." That is incorrect, plain and simple. Under Pace Code G and guidance issued by multiple police forces across the UK, if an interaction is being recorded, particularly during a detention, the officer should inform the individual as soon as practicable. Why? Because transparency underpins accountability. And when someone is being detained or questioned, they have a clear right to know what is being documented and how it may be used. In this case, not only did the officer fail to properly explain the grounds for detention, but she also withheld essential information, all while physically restraining an individual who had committed no offence.
No, I won't calm down. You're putting out, like, do I look like a criminal to you? Exactly, do I look like a criminal to you? So why are they, you're grabbing me?
Listen.
I'm telling you what, there's this funeral going on over here.
Exactly.
Right?
So calm
Let's
down.
go over here.
So calm down. I tried to come down it. I did.
You? Goon?
Come on, calm down.
Put me in the van, go on.
I'm not putting you in the van. I'm sitting here.
No, I'm not sitting nowhere.
You just sit here
I'm not
and
taking no
figure out what's
directives
going
off you. I was filming in public.
That's fine.
I'm a man with a camera, not a gun.
No, we know, favour.
We're just trying to find out what's
No, I'm not doing you any favour.
Just sit there.
I'm not doing you any favour.
Calm
No.
down for
I
me.
can let you go if you
I am.
keep making us listen.
You're gonna make negotiations with me when I've done nothing
I'm
wrong.
not trying to negotiate.
At the minute, I can't figure out what's gone on because I'm dealing with you.
No, don't push me.
Stay there.
She's pushing me.
Stay there.
She's pushing me.
My camera's off.
You're all right. You haven't done nothing.
Why? Stop pushing me
All I
then.
want you to do
No,
is stay here.
You're controlling me. You're trying to give me directives. I haven't done
I'm
anything.
trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, listen to me.
Despite the auditor calmly attempting to explain himself, the officer continues to apply unnecessary physical force and repeats the same hollow line. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But how can that be true if she refuses to actually listen? The irony is unmistakable. You cannot determine what is happening by forcefully detaining someone without first hearing their account. It is a textbook example of confirmation bias. The officer has already concluded that the auditor is in the wrong, and now every word or movement he makes is interpreted in a way that reinforces that assumption. Rather than assessing the situation objectively and engaging in basic communication, the officer treats lawful activity as though it were a threat. It is little surprise that encounters like this escalate and ultimately end up in courtrooms instead of being resolved at the scene.
But we have to speak to both parties.
Listen to me. No.
Okay, I know, I understand. Listen, calm down. Doing that and pointing out to him
Alright, sorry.
and causing more issues is going to make something
Go down to
happen,
the
isn't it?
cube. Go down to the cube. Do
I
inquiries down
can't
there.
because I'm dealing with you. I can't go and
Blah,
see
blah,
you.
blah,
I
blah.
can't go and
Don't
see
put
you.
your hands on my property.
Point that in my face.
I'll point it wherever I want.
Face, okay? Listen.
Just explain what's happening.
I was filming the back of a Securico van, like a G4S,
Yeah.
like that. And he's gone up to the man and said, "Oh, he's filming you." And then he's like, "Oh, I don't give you permission to film me. I'm in public. Go and explain to him that I can film in public."
Was that a reason?
You know you can.
for
You know you can.
Yes, because I can. Because this is what happens when you do.
Listen.
No, I want to hear what you're saying.
No, you're not.
No.
You're not going to make the situation worse.
Why are you putting hands on me?
Because you're trying to get involved and make the situation
No,
worse.
I'm not.
All I'm trying to do.
I need to hear what he's saying.
You don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
I'm walking down the road filming,
Yeah.
and you're just a goon.
Listen.
Now jog on.
Down. Stop. There's no.
Have you detained me as well?
The minute you are detained.
Have you detained me?
I'm
No,
detained.
You detain me.
I have detained you.
What station are you,
I'm
like,
from Pembroke Dock Station.
yeah?
719.
Another Pembroke Dock Station.
719. There you go.
Yeah.
Full force of your camera.
I'm waiting for 720 quid up on you
What?
for illegal detainment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When the auditor states that he is already awaiting £720 in compensation from the same police force for a previous unlawful detention, it casts the entire current interaction in an even harsher light. One would expect that a force with a pending payout would exercise greater caution, apply the law correctly, and ensure its officers do not repeat the same mistakes. Yet here we are, watching history repeat itself in real time. If officers cannot learn from legal consequences, if lessons from previous payouts do not translate into improved conduct on the ground, then this is no longer a matter of isolated incidents. What we are witnessing is a pattern of misconduct, indicative of a system that has not been held meaningfully accountable.
What I've asked you to do is stand out the way for me.
No, you pushed me, you put hands on me, everybody's seen it, it's all on camera, mate.
Because you keep on wanting to go over there, so I'm trying to prevent you.
I don't want to go nowhere near that
going over there.
person.
As we said, it's all on our cameras as well.
Yeah, and it's all on my camera.
I know.
Right?
I know it's all on your camera.
I haven't done anything wrong, mate.
Listen, I haven't said you have.
So
I'm saying-
why grab my arm and make me look like a criminal in front of everybody in Tenby, like?
Listen to me.
It's a small town.
Listen to me.
I'm allowed to film.
I'm-
Why are you going over there and telling him?
Listen, my colleague's over there to speak to him.
Honestly, I swear on my kid's life, like, I was like filming the G4S. He said, "Oh, you can't, he's filming you." And then the G4S man said, "Oh, you can't film me in pub, you can't film me. I don't give you permission to film me." What's his job? He's in a public, and he can't tell me not to film him in public.
Okay.
Can he?
Well, you know, you are like the same as we can't tell you to not film us.
Exactly.
When the G4S driver allegedly called the police claiming that someone was filming him, the first and most obvious question from the call handler should have been, "Where is the person filming?" If the answer was that the individual was in a public place, that should have resolved the matter immediately. Filming from a public space is entirely lawful, and it is not the role of the police to shield individuals from being recorded while carrying out duties in public view. However, that basic filter appears to have failed. The call was treated as though a crime or genuine threat had occurred, and the responding officers acted accordingly, arriving with immediate detention, the use of force, and no attempt to assess the legality of the situation. From the outset, the auditor's explanation is calm, factual, and grounded in law. The G4S guard, meanwhile, appears to believe that working in a public space entitles him to privacy. It does not.
Am I, like, being criminalised?
I haven't arrested you.
You've detained
I
me.
haven't said, yeah, but that's different to this.
Get off my arm.
We're not having this. We're not having this pulling through. Just stay here for me whilst we figure out what's going on. That's all I want you to do.
All I've done is filmed in public.
Okay? But because we've had a report,
Of what?
we just need to
What
see
is the report?
everybody that's involved. At the moment, I'm not sure. My colleague's over there trying to get more
Why are we trying
information.
to speak to you about it?
Okay? This is what I'm trying to tell you. What was your name?
Really?
Why can't I ask you that question?
Because I don't need to give you it.
Okay, well, I'd like to know who you are.
Why?
Because I'm talking to you.
Why do you need to know who I am?
You've asked who I am because you're talking to me.
Yeah, that's your policy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like,
I ain't got no policies. I don't work for you.
I just asked you.
You work for me.
Okay.
You're gone.
The officer's behaviour in this moment perfectly exposes how poorly trained, or outright dismissive, some officers can be when it comes to legal boundaries. She detains the auditor without clear or lawful grounds, then asks for his name not because of any established suspicion or statutory requirement, but simply because he asked for hers. That is not due process. It is tit-for-tat policing, and it is deeply unprofessional. What makes this even more concerning is her tone and reasoning. When the auditor correctly reminds her that he has no legal obligation to identify himself, she deflects by saying, "Well, I'd like to know who you are." But policing is not about what an officer would like, it is about what the law permits. The requirement to provide one's name does not hinge on an officer's curiosity. It depends on specific legal criteria, none of which have been satisfied in this situation.
Right. So my colleague's just going to speak to you from the report that we've had. Okay.
Yeah.
So this moment in time.
So at this moment, you're under arrest and a suspicion of harassment. So you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. We do not mention when questions
You are
in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
cool.
Right.
All right?
Well, we'll have to take the phone away.
To arrest someone on suspicion of harassment based solely on a vague complaint, without establishing any actual course of conduct that meets the legal definition, is deeply irresponsible. This is especially true here where the auditor was simply filming in public, an activity that is entirely lawful. There were no threats, no repeated targeted behaviour, just a camera and a public space. Yet she escalated with force and initiated an arrest, treating this lawful act as inherently suspicious. This kind of reaction sets a dangerous precedent, allowing officers to rely on discomfort or personal bias rather than the law to justify heavy-handed action. Thankfully, justice prevailed. Dyslexic auditor later confirmed in his comments section that he was awarded £563 in compensation for the unlawful arrest. While modest financially, the settlement is significant symbolically, demonstrating once again that misuse of police power does not go unnoticed or unchecked. This episode casts a stark light on how poorly trained officers, combined with a reactionary mindset, can turn a routine, lawful act into a full-blown legal incident. All the auditor was doing was filming a G4S van in public, a non-confrontational, entirely legal act. Yet that simple action triggered a full police response, immediate detention, and ultimately an arrest, all without proper assessment. No crime had occurred, no lawful grounds were provided, and yet the auditor's rights were completely trampled. The lead officer did not just get it wrong, she steamrolled through protocol with alarming confidence. From the moment she grabbed his arm, refused to give clear grounds, and admitted she was recording without informing him at the first opportunity, the law was disregarded. Her conduct worsened when she demanded the auditor's name, not because it was legally required but because she wanted it. She even justified her demand by saying, "You asked for mine." That is not policing. It is a petty power play logic that has no place in professional law enforcement. Even the arrest itself was a complete overreach. Claiming harassment after such a poorly managed, one-sided encounter revealed just how desperate the officers were to justify their actions. When law enforcement relies on vague accusations and unverified reports to detain and charge people, They stop serving the law and start serving their own authority complexes. While the force was ultimately held accountable, with the auditor receiving a financial settlement of £563, the impact goes far beyond money. The real cost is public trust, wasted police resources, and the continued erosion of confidence in officers who treat cameras like threats and lawful rights like obstacles. This was not a one-off mistake, it was a display of systemic issues, failures in training, poor decision-making, and the ability of some officers to act without meaningful consequences until compensation letters arrive. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue with independent coverage. Also, be sure to check out Dyslexic Auditor. His channel is linked in the description. Show him some support. Thanks for watching.